track with Jason C, set the tone. Alarm hit, I'm up, no snooze, no slack, lace tight, mic on head, we run that track. Coffee in the system, mind sharp, talk slick. Pre-game on the screen, I don't miss, I don't pick. Type stats in the chat, watch it pop up loud. Player card on screen, yeah, the numbers arrive. Just 20 tweets, say boom, instant replay. No guesswork, no rumors that the data say. Quick lap energy, but it tastes real out. Turn early hours into the main crowd. Quick hits, no fluff, we don't stall. Roll call, name drop, yeah, I got them all. One command, one tap, now the truth on tap. If you want to prove, just type it in the chat. Type it in the chat, type it in the chat. Yeah, yeah. Morning chat, get up, get right.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great morning today and this Monday morning. Not my favorites, but hey, at least we have baseball, right? At least we have baseball. Let me say what's up to the chat real quick. I see my man Ace is in the building, and he says, cheer. Stephen B, what's up, man? Stephen B's in the building. Louis G, good morning, everyone. Yeah, good morning. It's a little late on the East Coast. Right now I'm in Arizona, so it's 9:15 over here. Katie, what's up, Katie? Yeah, so we got some good news, right? Everybody's been asking for Ben Rice. We'll just switch to that topic over there. Hold on. That's not what I want. Everybody has been asking, where is Ben Rice? Where is Ben Rice? Well, guess what? He is in the lineup today. He's actually leading off. Let me just pull that up here. So we got Ben Rice leading off, Jason Dominguez batting second, Ryan McMahon batting third. He's making his debut as well. Paul DeYoung, Spencer Jones getting another shot at center field. Schumann, Brown, Short, Henry, and Ryan Yarbrough taking the hump for the New York Yankees against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I like that they put Ben Rice at leadoff, right? Look, maybe I'm looking too much into this, and you guys let me know in the chat because I tend to do that, right? But I think they're trying him out there. Like everybody they've had at leadoff, I feel like Boone has put it there so far in spring training because he's contemplating whether he should utilize them at leadoff. And I think Ben Rice will be a great leadoff hitter. Ryan McMahon also making his debut, batting third. I have a lot of expectations for Ryan McMahon. I really think that he's going to have a decent season. Obviously, his glove is always there, but I think he's going to have a decent offensive season. And by decent, I mean, maybe 260 batting average, a 340, 350 on base percentage. I'd take that all day with 20, 25 home runs. That sounds like a win to me in my book. But Ben Rice leading off, like I said, I like the idea. It's a good idea. Ben Rice, just picture this, guys. Ben Rice, Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton. Then you could throw in Josh Chisholm and fill in the blanks however you want down there. I like it. I really do. I think he's better suited than Trent Grisham is, in my opinion. That's how I see it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Ben Rice is good at leadoff? All right, who else we got here? Mark Gates. What's up, Mark? Good morning. Get your shoe visa. Stephen B says, baseball and get away from winter storm. Oh, yeah. And you guys over there on the East Coast, be safe. Drive safely if you're driving. And dress warm because you just went through a blizzard. And especially New York. Look, I'm born and raised in New York. I'm not a fan of the snow, especially in the city, especially in New York City. Because after that first couple hours of it snowing, it turns to crap. It's just gets nasty and slushy and everything turns black and it's just gross. It is gross. So stay safe, guys, and stay warm. Oh, then Stephen B says he's mourning the loss of his grandma. Man, my condolences, Stephen B, man. My prayers go out to you and your family. That's tough. Ocean View Coffee says, let's freaking go. Right? Yeah, let's go. Yankees baseball is back, baby. Yankees baseball. But I want to talk a little bit about José Caballero. To me, José Caballero, he's getting off on a strong start this spring. Obviously, he hit a home run yesterday, and if you was tuned in to last night's show, and even before, I've been saying this for quite a while now. Jose's got sneaky pop. He's got sneaky power, man. Like I could see this dude if he gets enough at bats, and let's say he plays at least 130 games this season. I could see him getting 25 home runs. Like that is a real possibility. He's got pop. He definitely got pop. We already know he's got the wheels. The man is fast as hell, and he's gonna steal bases. But low key, he can hit some balls pretty far. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Caballero. I'm liking his defense so far. And even besides yesterday, like the first game that he started, the first game of spring training, he also had 2 good at bats. Obviously, he didn't get the outcome he wanted. He didn't get the results he wanted. But that would come, right? We all see Ben Rice, right? Ben Rice's numbers, he hits the ball hard. He's just getting unlucky. And I think Caballero could. I'm not comparing to Ben Rice, but I think he could do some damage. I think he really can. So the Yankees got something. We got something here with them. We definitely do. Put this thing away. Grisham looks terrible at leadoff. Exactly, Ocean View. I don't like him at leadoff. I'm sorry. I think they need to go away from that. They really do. If you notice the lineups, right, he's had Grisham at leadoff. He's had Wells at leadoff, which we know Boone has flirted with that idea in the past, especially in 2024. And now he has Ben Rice at leadoff. I think he's doing this on purpose. We're getting a sneak peek into the mind of Aaron Boone and Brad Ausmus and how they plan on navigating the lineups this year. So I think, I think this is like a preview of what's to come during the season. In my opinion, that's what I think. Looking at strikes down the middle, I'm gonna give Grisham the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm gonna give all these guys the benefit of the doubt right now because these guys are trying to figure out the strike zone, but I think some of them are overthinking it a little bit too much, right? Because now with the ABS system, it kind of changes everything, right? And the way they measure them standing up. So they trying to figure out the strike zone. What was usually getting called strikes before, or what usually weren't getting called strikes before, are actually hitting the zone, right? And they're getting challenges. We've seen that already. So it's gonna take some time, some adjustments. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt right now because it's spring. But even with that being said, I don't think Grisham. To me, I don't see him as a leadoff hitter, and not because he's not your typical leadoff hitter. Like usually, like the old school baseball minds, right? The old school baseball thinking was you got to have your fastest guy at leadoff, and then it went to you got to have the guy who reaches base the most, which is where I stand. The guy who could reach base the most, and it's just different. Like the leadoff, whoever's leadoff, right? Your leadoff hitter is gonna get the most plate appearances throughout the season. And during the course of a season, it starts to add up. You know, in a game, he might get one more at bat than someone else. But as the season progresses, after 162 games, that turns into 162 more at bats that you're giving Trent Grisham that you could be giving Ben Rice. Who would you rather have 100 more at bats? Trent Grisham or Ben Rice? I'm gonna go with Ben Rice. That's where I'm in the Ben Rice camp on that. I'd rather have him have 100 more at bats than anyone else, not named Judge right now. And then that's why the Dodgers, they have Ohtani at leadoff. That's why they put Ohtani at leadoff, because they want him to get 100 more at bats than anyone else. Well, not than anyone else, but than most people on the team, on the lineup, right? So yeah, that's the way I see it. But nowadays, analytics, they kind of have their own way of doing things. There's this thing called R23 or something. The way they calculate who should be batting first, they have a whole algorithm to figure out a freaking lineup. I say just the guy, whoever you want to get more at bats, you put him on the top. That's it, plain and simple. Plain and simple. Stephen B says Ben Rice is going to be great this year. I agree. I hope that he gets I hope the baseball gods are a little more fair to him, because last year I feel like he was he was a little unlucky. Just going to take a bit, getting every emotion in check. I hear you, man. It's okay, Jason. This will help being in chat. I won't be doing lives for 2 weeks. All right, man. Ace, my man Ace. Make sure y'all go check Ace out. Ace, if you can, put the link in the channel. I'll put it on for you if you want. Anyway, he says the Yankees are so backwards. I don't know why Rice isn't at first for the reps. Yeah, he's banned DH. I think it could be because, look, he was dealing with like a crook in his neck or something like that. I'm thinking that's what it is, but I'm sure he's getting his reps in. But you're right. You make a good point. Why isn't he? Right? Why isn't he playing at first? And who the hell is Sean Brown or S. Brown, whatever that name is? I have no idea. I'm sure there's a reason behind it. I would hope. Because besides that, there's no reason why he's not playing first base. They pulled him when a lefty was on the mound. Yeah, I think it has to do with, because remember they said that he had slept wrong or something and hurt his neck. I think it has to do with that. That's the only reason. Like Paul Goldschmidt was started versus a righty the other day and stuff like that. Yeah, I think, the Yankees, here's the thing, right? Everything you're seeing right now, for the most part, with the exception of certain moves, like I said, this is like a sneak peek. This is a glimpse of what's happening, right? Like Ace brought up a good point. He said that he didn't like the way that they took out Dominguez when there was a lefty pitcher the other day. And that's them telling you, look, that's the Yankees telling you they do not believe Dominguez from the right side of the plate is a viable option. They're not even entertaining it. Because if they was, they'd give him the reps, right? So there you have it, man. Look, sometimes the Yankees are telling you the truth right in your face, right? Sometimes we try to look too deep into things. Don't. Like, if you see Ben Rice leading off today, right, it's probably because you're going to see him during the season leading off. If he's not playing at first, it's probably because they're going to do the same thing as last year. They'd rather have Paul Goldschmidt out there or somebody else because they think his defense is not up to par yet. The same thing with Dominguez. If they take him out for when a lefty pitcher comes into the game, that's because they don't want him batting from the right side. It's that's just the Yankees. That's how they're doing it. So, me personally, I think in spring training, especially, why not? Right? Why not just give him the reps? That's what spring training's for. That is what spring training's for. Stephen B says, I'm on Ben Rice. Grisham is 7th, 8th, and 9th. Yeah. Make sure y'all go follow my man, the Ace Avenue. The link is in the description right now. Frank Rivera says, the people who are focusing on RT3 or whatever it's called. You know what? I try to do the math on that, and you got to look it up. It's RT23, I think it's what it's called. And it's like, I don't know. It's like an algorithm, how they figure out, like, there's 24 outcomes. It's crazy. It's like a science to the way they do lineups, man. The analytic people. There's a science to it. And it's a little confusing. It makes sense. It does make sense. I'm not going to lie. Like, I can see why people, but sometimes you got to put all of that away. Like, there's a place for the analytics, right? That's great. But the analytics are just numbers. They can't see the human side of the game, the personal side of the game, right? It can't, determine, okay, well, this guy, he's having a bad day or whatever it is, Sometimes you just got to go with the feel. You just got to go with the feel. The game will tell you. The game is telling you what needs to happen. And if you stick by the book, if you stick by the analytics and the numbers, sometimes it misses on that. But yeah, that RT 23 or 24, whatever it's called, is some crazy, crazy stuff. But a lot of front offices use it. That's the crazy thing. And that's how they come up with these lineups. That's how they come up with these lineups. You know what? Let's see who is pitching for I don't even know if this guy's a righty or lefty, though, but we'll find out. Let's see who's pitching. Obviously, they facing the Pirates. It's Ryan Yarbrough versus Bubba Chandler. Bubba Chandler's no joke, guys. Bubba Chandler is Paul Skeen's little brother. Not really, right? But He's the next guy in the system. Highly touted prospect. He's a beast. Trust me. I use him on MLB The Show, and he's a stud. So that's good. That's a good game. I'm gonna try to catch at least the first half of the game. So because I'm interested in Bubba Chandler. That's a guy that I wanted the Yankees to go after. He's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential. I'm not sure if he's a lefty or right. Let me see. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me pull him up. Well, that's not him. So we'll look it up. You know what? Let's do this. I know he made his major league debut last season, and I think they had him pitching out the bullpen. All right. Bubba Chandler. You know what? I'm gonna add if he's a lefty or righty. I'm pretty sure he's a righty though. All right. No, Bubba Chandler is not a lefty. He's a right-handed pitcher. Yeah, so he's a right-handed pitcher, so it makes sense why Dominguez is in the lineup. If they bring in a lefty out the pen, I'd be surprised if they give Dominguez the at-bat. They should, but they've already shown us that they don't have faith in him from the right side. So, yeah. All right, there's the lineup again. Obviously, nobody has any plate appearances, any major league plate appearances versus this dude because he's fresh. And then versus Ryan Yarbrough, we got a few guys who faced him on the Pirates. So the Pirates got a good lineup there. They got O'Neal Cruz out there, Marcelo Zuna. So quite a couple big leaguers. Ryan O'Hearn, who they just acquired this offseason. Brian Reynolds. Yeah, they put in a decent lineup out there against Ryan Yarbrough. So hopefully he can navigate it. Ryan Yarbrough, look, Ryan Yarbrough is a guy who's going to be crucial, especially the early months of the season, right? April, May, we need Ryan Yarbrough. He's the guy the Yankees are going to kind of lean on to eat up some innings until Rodon and Cole returns. Obviously, we know that he could be a long reliever guy. He can fill in as a starter, and he's had some success, and sometimes he doesn't. He's not a guy who throws hard. Definitely doesn't throw hard. So his command needs to be spot on. And yeah, that's pretty much really what Ryan Yarbrough needs. But he has pretty good command, and when it's on, and he's effective. But when it's not, it could turn into batting practice too. So we wishing him success. We hoping that he can hold the fort until our big dogs come in. Frank Rivera, if they don't want Dominguez hitting lefties, basically they're admitting guy who they claim was 5'2" player isn't a 5'2" player. I mean, you could be a 5'2" player without hitting lefties, though, lefty pitchers. So he still, he could do like a Cedric Mullins and just be like, I'm just going to bat from the left side for the rest of my career. You could still be a 5'2" player without being a switch hitter, But yeah, so 5'2" is a hitting, fielding, running, throwing ability, I believe. I'm trying to remember, but look, the Yankees are always gonna hype up their prospect. That's what they do the best. They sell these guys, man. They could sell you a prospect, pull some guy off the street and make you think that he's the next freaking Sandy Koufax, right? That's what they do, and we eat it up, man. As fans, we gobble it up. We love it. We just love it. So that's why, and they should. That's what they're in the business of baseball. These guys, like they say, prospects are trade pieces. They're chips on the table. So why not sell them up and hype them up to other teams and overvalue them to other teams? And if they bite, then they bite. I'm not saying that's the case with Jason Dominguez. Because Jason Dominguez is only 21 years old or 22 years old, whatever it is. The dude is very young. He's got a lot of time to figure it out. And we've seen that he's good, right? I think he could hold his own in the big leagues. Maybe one day he's going to have to just bat from the left side. That's it. Maybe that's what's going to happen. But from the left side, he's good. And his defense, it's not great, but it's something he could work on. So look, the Yankees. One thing I learned about the Yankees, right? They'll say one thing. Don't take them for what they say, because they talk a lot of freaking crap out their mouth. They gaslight like crazy. They're the best at it. Instead, watch what they do. Their actions will tell you everything: how they feel about a player, how they don't feel about a player, what they're thinking. It'll tell you everything, right? So the fact that they're not giving him at bats versus left-handed pitchers is telling you that they don't believe that he's good enough to face it. He's not good enough from the right side, and the numbers back it up. So you can't really argue it. You can't really argue it. They might not say that. They would never say that. They're never gonna come out and say, "Yeah, he can't. He sucks versus lefties." We're not doing that. They would never say that. Never ever say that. So yeah, Chandler's good. I was surprised Jones and yeah. David Cohn says Saturday that former players who don't like analytics just feel like they have been scorned. Talk about pissing on former teammates. Nah, man. I think, so look, some people are just stuck in their ways. There's a place for analytics. You can't deny it. Like, analytics is a real thing, and it makes sense, you know. But then there's also a time where you gotta close the book, right? Like, remember Joe Girardi used to always have that binder? Sometimes you got to close that damn binder and just go with your gut. You know, sometimes the game, there's a, like, baseball is a weird game like that. Like, baseball has a pulse. It really does. Like, a baseball game has a pulse. It has a vibe. Like, and that's what analytics can't quantify. They can't quantify that. It's something it's like an energy, a vibe, and you could feel the energy shift. You could feel certain plays just change the dynamic of everything. Analytics can't, there's no algorithm for that, you know? And that's the thing with analytics, but there is a place for it. There really is, man. And I think analytics does make a lot of sense. It does. You know? Let me see. What we got here. Frank says, I never believed the Yankees hype of prospects. Too old for that. Other teams have eyes. They can scout these players. That's something analytics don't show. Why you buy a car from the Yankees would you buy a car from the Yankees front office? Look, man, I would, but I've already known, because, look, I've been watching this team too long, especially this front office, this current regime been there for so long. We already know the gaslighting, the tricks they play, I get it, you know. I really do. I understand how they operate, so I don't fall for this stuff. That's why, man, I've had people here, you know, a few years ago, right? I used to do voicemails and stuff. A few years ago, I was telling people Trey Spencer Jones. You know, this is when the hype on him was so high. And man, the voicemails I got, man, it was like hate mail. People was like telling me I'm a retard. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm like, dude, I get it. But if you can get something, you know, that pushes over the edge, that can get us a World Series or get us something better, than you do it. Because, look, you can't hold on to these guys forever. That's what the Yankees do. They hold on to these prospects for too long. They don't know when to cut their losses. They don't know. They don't take a risk. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what? Look, I'm going to go for the sure thing. I get it. You know, some prospects I don't want to trade either. But until they actually up here and proven that they can do it, they're just, it's a possibility, right? Like anything else, it's not guaranteed. But wouldn't you trade a prospect, right? Even though if there might be high upside, but wouldn't you trade somebody with some high upside for somebody who's already proven and doing it right now in the big leagues? You know, and the Yankees don't do that. I don't know. They don't know how to, they don't take a gamble. They play it too safe sometimes, in my opinion. They try to play it too safe, and you can't do that. Especially right now, I think, to me, not only the fan base, because they haven't won in a while, but because, you know, Judge is getting older and everything like that. I think that especially Cashman, man, it's time to hold his feet to the fire, for real. Hal needs to hold his feet to the fire and be like, look, if we don't win this year or within the next 2 years, you're gone. You're out of here. But Hal's part of the problem too. That's a whole nother topic. Anyway, love the comparison of Girardi's binder. That used to drive me crazy with his binder. I feel analytics have a place, but you can't live and die with it. Yeah, you can't. You just can't. Cashman is too egotistical to play poker. He holds prospects too long. Yeah. I think Cashman's a good GM. I do. I mean, look, there's a reason why he's been there for so long, and he's a good GM, but I feel like, and I don't know, maybe it's not him. Maybe Hal. Maybe he does want to make these moves, and he goes to Hal, and Hal's like, no, maybe that's the case. I don't know, but I know that something ain't working, and it hasn't worked in a while, and they need to change it. They definitely need to change it. Let's do this. I got a few this or that's that we're going to get into. Make sure you vote in the comments, 1 or 2, and then we'll move on here. Let me start this right here. All right. This or that. Who should be the 5th starter when Cole and Rodon return? Type 1 for Luis Gil. Type 2 for Will Warren to register your vote. Who should be the 5th starter? I'm gonna go with Will Warren because I like Luis Gil out of the bullpen more than I like Will Warren out of the bullpen. Ace chooses Luis Gil, and the only reason, look, I think the reason why I choose Will Warren to be the 5th starter when Cole and Rodon return is because I think Luis Gil will be a better reliever than Will Warren would, and that's pretty much how I based this decision on. All right, Will Warren got 3 votes, and Luis Gil got 2. Healing Men's Heart saying, I think Luis Gil should be traded. Dude's attitude isn't a winner. Damn, I mean, what did he do to make you think he isn't a winner? Now, I didn't like the last year. I feel like he came in to spring a little out of shape and stuff, but I don't think I wouldn't say his attitude is not a winning attitude. I wouldn't say that because I don't know the guy. From what I've seen, he ain't too bad. All right, Rex. Warren can't pitch under pressure. Yeah, but you got to think who because one of these guys are going to end up in the bullpen if they're not in the rotation. So you got to think about it. Who you think will be better out of the bullpen, and who would be better? I think Will Warren's going to eat a lot of innings. Luis Gil cannot pitch that many innings in a season, right? Not as much as Will Warren would. So I'd save Luis Gil. I put him in the bullpen because he could throw hella hard, and just tell him, look, you just got to pitch 1 inning a game or 2 innings a game, and that's it. All right, next one is, if only one can make the roster, who would you choose? Type 1 for Jason Dominguez, type 2 for Spencer Jones. Why they got Jason Dominguez so zoomed in like that? Only one can make the roster. Who is it? Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones? We got 4 votes for Dominguez. Damn. Yeah, I'm going to go with Dominguez too. I'm going with Dominguez too. 5 votes for Dominguez. No votes for Spencer Jones? Damn. That tells me right there the Yankees should just trade him. Sacrifice defense for Jason Dominguez electric bat. Dominguez has proven the capacity to hit major league pitching. All right. Yeah, you're right. Stephen B picked Spencer Jones, but the voting was over there. Yeah, so that's that. And then I got some trivia. We got some Ryan McMahon and Ben Rice trivia questions that we'll go through that, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Unless you guys got anything else to talk about, we'll look into that stuff. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. All right. Whoa, hold on. I lost the trivia. Give me a second. Let me pull it back up again. Let me pull this thing back up. All right. Hyde says, I feel terrible for how Dominguez is treated, though. I do too, but you know what? I do, and at the same time, it's like, look, this baseball's a business, right? This is the big leagues. You're a professional. This ain't little league, right? Everybody doesn't have to play. We don't have to, give everybody a trophy. Everybody doesn't get a pat on the back. That's just not how it's supposed to work. I would say this though. I feel like what makes it unfair is that they don't treat everybody like that. See, if the Yankees were consistent with the way they treat all players, right? Like there weren't favoritisms and stuff like that, it'd be different. But we see how they treat certain players and how they treat other players. And then it becomes a problem where it's like, yeah, that's messed up. And I bet you, right, the players won't say it. They won't say it. But I bet you they talk about this on the side. Like, damn, yo, look at this dude. When is he going to get sent down? I get sent down for anything. I'm playing good and they sending me down. This dude has been asked for a long time and they won't send him, like, stuff like that. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Okay. Let's get into these questions and then we'll continue talking. All right, remember, to answer the trivia, you type A, B, C, or D in the chat, and the faster you answer correctly, the more points you get. Let's go.
Trivia time. Ben Rice played college baseball at which school? Is it A, Dartmouth, B, Harvard, C, Vanderbilt, D, Stanford?
All right, which college did Ben Rice play baseball at? I already look, and I haven't even seen it. I just typed this into ChatGPT and it gave me the questions. But I know this one. Ben Rice is very smart because not only do you have to be good at baseball to play at this school, you gotta academically you gotta be pretty good. Stephen B picked Vandy. Nah, he wasn't a Vandy boy. Definitely wasn't a Vandy boy. He went to Dartmouth. All right, next one.
Trivia time. Ryan McMahon was drafted in 2013 in which round and overall pick? Is it
no
A,
idea.
first, 12th overall, B, second, 42nd overall, C, third, 78th overall, D, fourth, 112th overall?
I have a follow-up too. If he was a first-round draft pick, would you consider him a bust at this point? I wouldn't, obviously, because he's in the big leagues, but I don't know. I have no idea. It was a tough one. Everybody's picking B, so I'm going to pick B. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. Second round pick, 42nd overall. I have no idea. Yeah, he was. He was a second round pick. Wow. Okay. I would consider that a good pick. The dude's had he's already a vet in the league. Yeah, that was a good pick. He's first rounder for sure. Somebody vet this because I hope that that's accurate. It should be though.
Trivia time. Ben Rice's 3HR rookie game, July 6, 2024, came versus which team? Is it A, Red Sox, B,
His
Mets,
three home run
Orioles,
game in his
D,
rookie season.
Blue Jays?
Somebody picked the Red Sox. I don't think it was the Red Sox. Was it? That'd be crazy because he's from like the Boston area. I believe. I'm gonna pick C. I don't remember it being versus the Red Sox. I don't remember it being versus the Mets. I feel like I would remember that. It was either the Blue Jays or the Orioles. Because this was in 2024 and the Blue Jays weren't that good. It was either... Oh no, it was the Red Sox. Get the hell out of here. Damn, Stephen B. You got it, man. Let's see. So right now, Louis G is in the lead with 1,400. Stephen B's in second. Okay. All right, today's not my day. 2 more questions, guys.
Trivia time. McMahon's 2022 extension with Colorado was for how much and how many years? Is it A, 5 years, $60 million. B. 6 years, $70 million. C. 7 years, $84 million. D. 8 years, $100 million.
I have no idea. I'm gonna go. I guess everybody's saying B, so we'll go with B. 6 years, 70 million? Really? I feel like it was more than that. Man, Stephen B is killing it today. My man, Stephen B. Even though you still losing, you down. And we got one more question. Yeah, so 6 years, 70 million. You know, I get it, the 16 million per year thing with Ryan McMahon, but that's not really a bad deal, man. I think Ryan McMahon is better than people give him credit for. I'll say that. You know, is he my if I could pick a third baseman, would it be him? No, right? If I could pick any third baseman in the league, it won't be him, but I think he's better than people give him credit for. I'll say that. All right.
Trivia time. Ben Rice made his MLB debut on which date? Is it A. June 18, 2024, B. May 18, 2024, C. June 18, 2023, D.
This is a tough.
July
I have no
18,
idea.
2024.
I have no idea. I'm gonna just go random. I feel like it was in the middle of the season when he came. And it was definitely 2024. I'm gonna go D. I feel like Stephen B is freaking Googling this shit, man. I'm gonna go B. I remember it being like towards the middle of the season when he made his debut. Damn, no, it was A. Well, Louis G won. Congratulations, Louis G. You're the winner. Let me end this real quick. Okay. Yeah, man. So we'll just bullshit here for a little bit, and then I'm gonna wrap this thing up. So I have a few things I need to do. John the Beagle Dad, what's up, man? Good morning. Good morning. Almost good afternoon on the East Coast. Fantastic. Getting ready for my vacation. Where you going? Where you going on vacation? Let us know. Escaping the cold weather out there, I see. Not a bad idea. Luke killed it. One bad answer, but fun game. Yeah, I'm trying to make the questions a little more interesting. So I chose Ben Rice and Ryan McMahon for today because obviously they're making their spring debuts. But yeah, if you got any ideas, throw them my way and we'll make it happen. We will make it happen. Kennedy Space Center. Okay, nice. In Florida. Oh, so you live in a vacation. You live in tropical weather for the most part. But yeah, guys, look, and I can't wait for WBC, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, right? These spring training games, they kind of get a little boring after a while. Like I was watching yesterday's game, and I like watching. Obviously, it's baseball, but it's like, man, I can't wait for the season to start, especially come like in a few weeks here. Good thing we got WBC, but in about a week or two, I'm telling you, man, everybody's gonna be kind of fed up with spring training. Tired of it. Even the players, man, you could tell that they at a certain point they're just like, okay, can we just like get on with it already? So, but so far, man, I would say that the Yankees spring training so far is so far, right? Still early, very, very early. It just started pretty much, but it's been a success. Knock on wood. In terms of like injuries and stuff like that, other teams are dealing with major injuries, and we haven't had any like really crippling injuries. So knock on wood, because we still got a month. Well, we got a month to go, right? Spring training. So knock on wood that everybody can stay healthy. And yeah, and hopefully, we some of these younger guys, these prospects, hopefully a lot of them, have developed and could show that that they're viable options come the season when we need to call people up, because it's going to happen during the season. There's going to come a time where we're going to need to call somebody up and somebody's going to get a shot. So, and that's what a lot of these guys are playing for. Look, some of these guys, they know they're not making the team. It's like it'll be, they have like a 1% chance of actually making the team, even less than that. But their whole point is, their whole goal is to show that they can actually compete at that level, and just kind of, make their names known and to the front office and Boone and all these guys, so they know, like, okay, these guys are legit. So when the time does come to call somebody up, to give somebody a shot, it could be one of them, right? It could be one of them. So, yeah. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Besides that, it's all about just preparing for the season. It's all about preparing for the guys who know they making the roster, right? For the Ben Rices. Even like, let me tell you something. A guy like Jason Dominguez, right? Even though it's kind of, we already know he's probably going to be in AAA for the start of the season. But a guy like that who's teetering, who's on there, he's teetering whether he's going to be on the roster or not. A guy like Jason Dominguez, he's, these games and these at-bats mean a lot to him, because he could change the narrative and change the outcome or change the plans that they have for him, with these at-bats. If he balls out and just goes crazy. Obviously, we haven't seen that yet, but, it shows that his defense is there, right? Shows that he's improved on defense, that he's worked on it. It could change things. It really could change things for him. So yeah. So for some, spring training doesn't mean anything, right? For others, it's a huge deal. And I think especially for them guys who are fighting for attention from the front, or fighting for a shot, right, to make the big leagues. Yeah, for them, every at bat is huge, right? Every at bat, every pitch is just huge. That's why I feel bad for some of these guys. They come in and they don't pitch well, right? Some of these younger guys, or they don't do well, especially the pitchers. They come in and just start getting rocked. Man, I feel so bad for them, because it's like, damn, they know that this is a huge opportunity right here, and they didn't perform. So, John DeBeagle says spring training is just spring training. Ramp up to the regular season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for most people is that, but for guys who are fighting for a chance to make it to the big leagues, or a chance to get called up or move up from AA to AAA, whatever it is, it's a big deal, man. It is huge for them. They're playing out there like it's the World Series. While guys like Aaron Judge and these other guys, they go take their 3 at-bats and go home. They'll take their 2 at-bats and they're out of there. They're not hanging out. They're not doing anything crazy. No. That's what it is. Healing Man says, other teams watch players that won't make the Yankees roster. That too. In the stands over there, it's full of scouts and full of, just people like, yeah. Especially like I'm sure a lot of these guys love being in the Yankees organization, but I'm sure a lot of them know that if they were traded to a team like the Rockies or the Brewers, or maybe not the Brewers, a little bit the Brewers, the Rockies, the White Sox, the Nats, if they were traded to a team like that, they'd have a way better path to the big leagues than they do being in the Yankees organization. I'm sure. So, yeah, for some of these guys, man, look, when I never played professional, so I wouldn't know firsthand, but I could only imagine, man, that these guys it's tough, because every year, right, they draft a whole bunch of new people every year. Look, your spot, somebody's always gunning for your spot. Every year they draft a whole new set of prospects, right? And then they get a whole bunch of other people from the international draft, and then they sign a whole bunch of free agents and stuff. So every year there's a whole batch of new players, and they're all gunning for your spot. You have a short window when these guys get drafted or get signed or whatever. They have really, a short window to capitalize on that before you just pushed out by somebody else who's coming up. So it's tough, man. for them, I know it's a lot of pressure. It gotta be. It's their livelihood. It's a lot of pressure. So my handling, I'm not in the snow. I'm in Arizona right now, so I'm not dealing with any snow. But anyway, folks, that's gonna do it for me. I appreciate you all joining. I really do. Again, let's go Yankees. And don't take too much. If the Yankees lose today, big deal. It's spring training, right? It really doesn't mean anything. But besides that, I hope everybody has a great day. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to try to come on sometime tonight. And yeah, and we'll catch up then. Besides that, love you guys, man. Thanks for everything. And I'll see you guys on the next show. Peace.
Sunrise, French babe, new face, let go. Morning track with Jason C's at the tone. Alarm hit, I'm up, no snooze, no slack. Lace tight, mic on head, we run that track. Coffee in the system, mind sharp, talk slick. Pre-game on the screen, I don't miss, I don't pick. Type stats in the chat, watch it pop up loud. Clear card on screen, yeah, the numbers arrive. Just 20 tweets, say boom, instant replay, no guesswork, no